What is up, Stock Mob? Welcome back to another video. Now today we have some very interesting topics to discuss. A lot of action-packed events coming into 2021, and we'll be going over one of the bigger headlines, NIO Day. What is it? Why is everyone talking about it? What do I think will come of this day? And what's my future outlook on NIO? But first, I'd like to talk about a very important topic. And that topic is red days. So going into 2021, we did have a few red days, and we also started 2021 with a red day. So the markets are down. There's two ways you can act when there's any significant dips like this. You can panic and sell off, or you can stay calm and buy the dips. Now, what have we seen from the past? Usually, when the overall market or the SPAC market sells off, people are in fear. But that's when you have to be greedy, and that's when you have to start positions and average down and keep buying. This is why I stress to always have 20 to 30% cash on hand to get into these opportunities when there are discounts. Alright, so before we dive deep into NIO Day, let's give a little bit of an overview of who they actually are and what they do. To put it simply, NIO is a Chinese automobile manufacturer headquartered in Shanghai, China, and they specialize in designing and developing electric vehicles. Their stock has been on absolute fire this past year, going from around $3 a share all the way to $57 a share at all-time highs. Now, you might ask yourself, what makes them special compared to the other EV companies? A potential competitive advantage of NIO is their service that allows owners to swap drained batteries instead of actually recharging them. The company has set up 143 battery swap stations in cities including Beijing and Shanghai. The service allows NIO to sell vehicles without actually having a battery. It's essentially a batteries not included on a larger scale. According to NIO, this can save buyers up to $10,000 off the price of a vehicle, which can be massive in the long run. Just check out this clip of a NIO car having its battery swapped. Now, when you're measuring the progression of an EV automaker or just an automaker in general, a great way to do so is by their increases in deliveries. As we've seen with Tesla, it has a fairly large correlation with investor sentiment and the stock price itself. Over the past weekend, in anticipation of NIO Day, they announced their fourth quarter and full year 2020 delivery results. In Q4 of 2020, NIO delivered 7,007 vehicles, increasing 121% year over year. And for all of 2020 in total, they delivered 43,728 vehicles, increasing 112.6% compared to 2019's total. So after the good news was released about their increases in delivery numbers, the stock price has recently seen some upside, gapping up past 50 and is sitting in the low 50s right now. But NIO Day is coming up. So what is NIO Day and why is everyone talking about it? So NIO Day is scheduled on January 9th of 2021, and it is essentially a conference where the company usually showcases new technology and products, similar to how Apple does a conference every single year, showcasing their new phones and new technology. In this specific conference, they're gonna unveil their very first sedan model vehicle, which they've never done before, since they primarily only have SUVs in production and distribution. These sedans will start to be mass manufactured by the end of the fourth quarter of 2021. They are also expected to announce a 150 kilowatt battery pack, which will likely increase its range to over 900 kilometers, which converts to 600 miles. These batteries are also universal for all the vehicles, as we've seen with the battery swap. Comparing this battery to Tesla's, their current range for the Model S does 402 miles. And finally, they're expected to share the latest developments of their autonomous driving and other core technologies. So what is my opinion on NIO Day? Well, what we already know is that NIO is expected to unveil their very first sedan. But what we don't know is the numbers. If NIO can stay competitive with their pricing on these new sedans compared to a company like Tesla at the same time without harming their underlying margins, I believe this can be positively reflected in the stock price. At the same time though, an event like this can be compared to Tesla's Battery Day. A lot of buying happens in anticipation of the event, and then once the good news is released, there could be a potential sell-off. That's why as an investor, it's absolutely key to understand that the rumor gets bought up and the news gets sold. Remember what they say, buy the rumor, sell the news. That being said, dip buying opportunities could come from this. My outlook on NIO long term is in favor of the stock price, and I am bullish on NIO long term. With the massive population that China has, NIO has tons of market share left to gain in China, not to mention their expansion plans in Europe. The Chinese government has also introduced a development plan for renewable energy, which includes a commitment to raise the proportion of its renewable and non-fossil fuel energy consumptions to 20% by 2030. Not only is it massive that the Chinese government supports the transition towards renewable energy, but they also support NIO themselves. This cultural support can go such a long way in the success of a company in China because of their communistic authority that the Chinese government has on their companies, as we've seen with their threats to break up massive companies like Alibaba. Even though a large company like that does contribute heavily to the economy, the government just doesn't have that big of a capitalistic focus like they do in the West. So that just shows how important it is to have the Chinese government on your side as a company in China, since they literally have the power to make or break you. And that is a huge catalyst for NIO. So those were my thoughts on NIO Day and my future outlook on the company in general. Let me know what you think about NIO in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Also, the link for the Discord is in the description. There's a great community of investors with tons of content on there to learn from. Until next time, keep mobbing.